Like what was involved in that set?
Base set Pokemon from the
So like
90s.
Charizard,
Blastoise, like the entire
like you had the base set.
Pikachu.
Yeah.
That is lit.
Welcome back to another episode of the Monarch Social Podcast, where we discuss all things digital media marketing.
In hopes to give you, the viewers at home, a little bit of insight into this digital world which we all live in.
Welcome back, fam. We have our guest today with us, and I have had the opportunity in the past to work with this individual a lot. It is Jason Proulx. Proulx. I can't say your last name. How do you say your last name?
Proulx. Yeah,
Jason
no LX.
Proulx.
Yeah.
Jason
X is a
Proulx.
silent X.
God damn it! I like right as I went to go say it, I was like, "Oh God, I'm gonna fuck up on that name." But oh yeah, we're not family friendly as much either, Mr. Jason.
Yeah, everybody messes that up. No.
But anyways, so Jason, I've had the opportunity to work with Jason a lot in the past. Monarch has worked with Jason in the past. He is the owner of Dark Prime Collectables, which is a retro game toy store in Clearfield, Utah. So, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
And this microphone's being a little weird today, so we apologize for that. We're trying to get it replaced and fixed, but hey, we're just rocking with it.
Soon enough.
Anyways, why don't you introduce yourself, Jason? Like, to kind of tell us where you're from, what you're about, and what you're doing.
My name is Jason. I've lived lots of different places. Born in Wyoming, moved to Missouri, Alaska, Florida. Grew up in the military.
Alaska?
Yes.
Wow.
That's what you get when you're a military brat.
Military brat.
There we go.
You go from one place that's cold to the next place that's really hot, and there's no in between for you guys.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool though.
Moved up here after my dad retired from the Air Force because his job decided to move him up here, and I was like, screw it, I've never been to Utah. So I moved up here, met my wife after being up here for I was up here for about 10 years or so.
I thought you were gonna say 6 months.
No, it's
Typical
not one
Utah.
Of those. No, it's not one of those.
No, I'm not LDS.
There we go.
No, I was up here for about 10 years and then met my wife. We got married after about a year of knowing. We knew each other for a year, then started dating for 6 months. Then got married about 6 months after that.
Nice.
So then we started my business, 3 years into our marriage?
Yeah,
Nice.
I think, isn't your business like 7 or 8 years old now?
It's 9 years.
9 years. Oh,
Wow.
Jesus. Okay,
Congrats.
I was way off. It's way longer than that. So,
Yeah.
and then you have a daughter also.
Yes, that's how I know how old my business is.
Nice. Cool.
Hey,
That's cool.
That's what I did with IQ Repair. Like Jet was only a year old when we started that, so that's kind of how I
Gauged it.
Gauge like, oh, how old was IQ at the time? So I totally feel you on that one. Having kids, it's like, oh yeah, like that's how we
My business is this old. That's how old my kid is.
For those listening, I know I kind of did like a little intro, Jason, but I want you to tell the audience about Dark Prime. What is it? How it began? Just kind of tell us about your business.
We are nostalgia.
I was going to say, just a little conversation we were talking about before we started this. I was like, man, blast from the past.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, we specialize in the nostalgia field of the 70s, 80s, 90s kids. Some of the 2000s kids, because, they have to have nostalgia too. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, we have NES games, we Atari games. I mean, we sell all kinds of vintage retro video games, vintage retro toys. We just got in some G1 Transformers in.
Sick. That is tight.
When I started working with Jason, specifically like in his company, and for those that don't know and that are listening, Monarch is my main baby child. It's my main squeeze. But I do have another company where I consult, and Jason was one of my clients. And so when I first started with him, I had to learn the lingo of the expensive retro toys. And so he was like, oh, like the G1. I'm like, okay. Oh, Generation 1. Okay, got that. But there are some toys that he has that we did some conferences last year. And, dude, it is nuts. The world of collectible retro gaming toys is a whole world that I was introduced to. And it was awesome. So.
Oh, yeah. No, we just did a retro game or a video gaming show this past Saturday. And the amount of people that were there for and it was just a parking lot type thing. We had almost
at Minus World, right?
Yeah, Minus World in Layton. We had over 3,000 people in there.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Dude, it's like I'm
That
not
is mind blowing. In Utah?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not joking.
Wow.
Like, it doesn't matter if it's like a Lego convention
Nope.
or like to the the what's it called, the Comic Con style stuff. They're huge. Like, and that one that we went to wasn't that like the Lego Con or what was that one
so
called
that,
last year at the Marriott? That one.
That one was the Utah Fandom.
Oh yeah, Utah Fandom, and dude, you could barely walk through there.
Yeah, for a convention that was like only announced like 2 months before. Like everything was packed.
Yeah, you couldn't walk in there.
Wow, that is so surprising. Like I would never have guessed that there was such a big audience.
Yeah.
And they had like all these celebrities there. Like I met Godzilla, I think.
Yeah, the guy that voiced Godzilla in the 90s movie.
Power Rangers were there.
Yeah, there were a few different Power Rangers there.
Wow.
A couple other actors and actresses and some wrestlers were there.
Sick.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that one female wrestler was there.
Yeah.
That's super famous. But
The one that does that's in Disney?
no, like a WWE wrestler.
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about the girl from Mando.
Nope. Oh, Gina Carano.
Yeah,
No.
they got kicked out.
Not her.
Yeah. No, but then there was like the voice actor that voiced.
She was a UFC fighter, by the way.
Okay.
Throw some respect on her, goddamn.
My
name.
bad, dude. My bad.
I know, but there's a voice actor that voiced like 15 different Pokemon.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
But
this lady voiced.
Dude, this
voiced,
is so nostalgic because as soon as you said the voices of Pokemon, I'm like, they didn't have voices, but they did. They had their little sounds that they would make to say their name.
Bulbasaur.
No way.
yeah. She was there.
What
Yeah.
a huge accomplishment to be like, I was
I was talking to
Bulbasaur.
her and I was looking at her thing and I was like, holy crap, that's like 30, 15, 20, 30 Pokemon, several different animes.
Wow, that is so fascinating.
And at
That's
that,
so cool.
At that Utah Fandom one, I actually have an old friend, James Coleman. Shout out to him. He's a huge like retro Star Wars collector, and he has some big things coming up. He was just on a podcast talking about this new app that he's going to be doing. But anyways, but he was there with his huge collection. And that was awesome to like rekindle with him. and
So is
see
that
him.
what people do? Is like people have these big collections of whatever niche that they're into, and then when we do these meetups, is that what they do? Is they bring their collection out, kind of like a car show?
So most of them actually just bring in their doubles and duplicates. Like I have friends that literally will go to like auctions and buy pallets of what they collect, and then sell off the stuff that they don't need to buy more stuff that they do need.
Gotcha. That's cool. That's still that's like the basic fundamentals of flipping.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's cool.
But Jason's done a ton of like conventions and stuff like that. But in Jason's store, like tell him some of the like stuff that you carry at your store. Like what can be found there?
I mean, like I said, we have vintage retro video games, vintage retro toys, Magic the Gathering, D&D.
Magic the Gathering, D&D's huge. Like Magic the card game.
Pokemon cards?
We do singles, but not sealed product.
Gotcha.
We're working on getting the sealed product in. That's just a little harder to do, having to jump through more hoops to try to get
Right.
approved to actually sell that stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, actually, on the topic of things that are in the store. So obviously, this is collectibles, which I'm assuming there's probably like your top tier. Like, what is your top 3 most valuable products that you have in the store?
That would be some of our Magic cards that we have are in the ballpark of like $200-$300 a piece.
Wow.
We have one that's almost $5.
Really?
You had a really cool Pokemon set too that you were selling for quite a bit of money too. That was awesome.
That one I actually decided to take apart because more people were wanting it singly than together. But there's like
what was involved in that set?
Base set Pokemon from the
So like
90s.
Charizard,
Blastoids, like the entire
Like you had the base
Generation
set.
one
Pikachu.
base set,
that is lit.
yeah, but like I have.
Wait, just like first gen or like all the way up to Charizard?
And Jason, I'm gonna make you talk closer to that mic. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. No, it's a bit of everything from the original base set from the 90s, even some fossil stuff from the 90s. Because back in the 90s, they had the fossil, the base set, the fossil, the jungle, and then they did the Team Rocket and then the Gym Heroes back in the 90s.
Sick. So, gosh, dude, I used to have so many Pokemon cards. Like, it killed me when that whole the whole hype around finding your Pokemon cards was a
wish
thing.
my parents wouldn't have thrown them away.
Dude, I for the life of me, and this was actually just recently, I have a trunk that I keep at my mom's house. And in my heart and soul, it's in this trunk, but I didn't have the key or anything to get into the lock that was in there. So we actually got a Dremel and like cut the lock off, pop open the trunk, Beanie Babies.
Beanie Babies.
So many Beanie Babies and a PSP. That was a cool thing. Like I did find a PSP with all my old PSP games, all the old video games, but mostly Beanie Babies and 0 Pokemon cards.
I'm sorry that there were Beanie Babies in there.
I know. The one thing that's like not valuable at all. I'm like,
Everyone thought they were gonna be like the most valuable things ever, and there's like a few that are like pretty valuable. Some of the ones that are like misprinted or like there's like defects in them, and people will save those. But for the most part, yeah, screw Beanie Babies.
but the thing is, when I got Beanie Babies, it was never even about like rarity or anything like that. It was more like, dude, I want this like lion, or dude, I want this like
it just looked cool.
orca. Like I had some cool looking like just animals that I really liked. But
And the other top sellers, so your top sellers are or not necessarily his like most expensive stuff, but his top sellers are Lego, Magic the Gathering, and Star Wars, right?
ooh, and
So he has a
Lego
ton
is
of
right
Star
up the alley
Wars.
too. I got a ton of Legos. I think Legos are so cool.
Dude,
So first, I have to correct you. It is Lego, not Legos.
Oh yeah, it is.
Any
I
fan
got
base that
corrected.
watches, any Lego fans that watch this and know that will rip you apart for saying Legos.
It's Lego.
Never
not
again.
Legos.
Never
It's
again.
Lego.
So it's always even plural.
Yes,
It's just
blur-
Lego.
Yes,
I've got a ton of Lego.
yes.
It just sounds weird, right?
Yeah, that doesn't sound right, but like, yeah, I'll run with it.
Welcome
sorry,
to
sorry.
fandom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to the
Newbie.
Go get an argument with a Lego fan. It's not fun.
When I first went to Jason's store, he had, do you know Game of Thrones, like that throne that has like all the swords on
Don't
it?
hate me. I've never seen Game
You've
of
never
Thrones.
seen Game of Thrones?
I know.
Get out. You're done. No, I'm joking.
So now live, he has to get out. I do too.
Anyways, it's like here. Okay, I have to show him this, but anyways, there's a throne that's made out of swords on Game of Thrones.
Is it like the throne that I know? I mean, don't get me wrong. I know like the general gist of it, and I've seen a couple episodes.
So-
Is it the thing that the dragon queen sits at, or is it?
Kind of. It's like in every poster and every.
It's like every
That's their
poster.
throne.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I had one of those made out of lightsabers.
He had one made out of lightsabers, and it was a lightsaber throne.
No
Game of Thrones
way.
style.
And you could actually sit in it. It was
No,
awesome.
okay. I was about to say, is it life size? Like you could
yeah.
sit in it?
It was.
Oh, it was. We had Fanix the year after it was made.
Really?
Yeah. And people like were loving it.
Taking pictures. I
yeah.
bet line to take pictures.
Oh yeah, there was.
How cool is that?
That's sick.
And matter of fact, most people, because it was my store first before Fanix, people were going to Fanix and they're like, "Dude, that's in that store up in Clearfield." And it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so sick. How'd you get that? Where'd you get the?
So besides all the collectible stuff and all that, we actually work with a lot of local artists
Cool.
to sell to display and sell a lot of customized stuff like that.
That's sick.
And so a friend of mine
Did that get sold?
It did after a while. We purposely had it high priced to when it sell.
Yeah, because you got to get your value out of it for sure, especially with there's a
Well, it's
demand.
such
I
a
would buy
fun-
something like that.
It's like
It wasn't even about value. It was
it was an attraction.
yeah. I mean, people like we post pictures of it online. People want to come in and take pictures with it.
Yeah.
It was at FanX. People would go, "Oh, dude, that's awesome!" And then they were like, "Yeah, it's up at the store up here." And they'd come in and take pictures with it even more.
Oh, I bet. So it was like an attraction
Oh, yeah.
at that point.
And but after a while, we moved around our store, and we were like, okay, we don't have a spot for this chair anymore because we've moved it around 4 or 5 times in the store, and now it's just taking up more space than what we actually, and we need the space for product.
Oh yeah.
So we actually ended up selling it for less than what we really had.
What you wanted originally? How many sabers were on it?
I believe the artist when he made it said there was like 70 or 80 sabers.
Oh my
And
god!
he actually had plans to add more.
Really?
Yeah, but we were like, he's like, you know what? Just sell that one. I'll make you a new one. I have 300 some odd sabers in my.
And are we talking about the sabers that like you can like?
There was like several different kinds.
So he used a variety of them.
Yes.
That's tight.
And there's like 4 or 5 that actually lit up still.
Really?
Yeah, so you could like push the buttons, light them up.
Oh,
And
that's
then-
sick.
And then underneath the chair was a charred mask for Vader.
No way.
Yeah, he purposely charred one up and melted it and made it.
That's so sick.
I was seeing if I could find one. I looked on his Instagram to see if I could find a picture of it, but here, let me go back on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook's probably easier, but there should be someone on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like, I mean, obviously, if you don't know the whole Game of Thrones thing, but even if you don't, just seeing a chair that's got all the lightsabers behind it in that style
Well,
would
that's the
still
thing,
be
like,
attractive.
There were so many people that came in like, what is that? I was like, it's a Game of Thrones chair. It's like, what's Game of Thrones? It's like the TV show.
And they're like, I don't even care. That chair is sick. I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still gonna take a picture with this
Oh, yeah.
thing.
No, like the guy that made it didn't even know what Games of Thrones was. Like he knew the show, he never watched it, never seen anything from it, he's like online one day and just saw a picture of the throne. I was like, I'm gonna make that.
I'm going to take that.
Yeah, it's super cool. I can't find a picture of it right now, but I'll show you one afterwards.
Yeah, you'll have to show me for sure.
Last podcast that we were having, Jason, how I described you kind of to our audience and to even Koa, I was like, dude, have you ever seen The Simpsons? He's the comic book Simpsons character. I want to know how many...
Fuck that character so much.
Okay. How many times have you gotten that reference?
So much. I actually had it put onto one of my business cards at one point.
No way.
Yeah.
I would almost run with that.
Dude,
That's sick. I like that.
He's got the ponytail, the beard, the knowledge base of the comics, the fandom.
Yep.
You know, anyways, that's how I kind of introduced you to our client.
That's sweet.
Our fan
That's
base
sick.
last week.
Yes, when I had a guy design me 4 different business cards. He says, "Here's the 4. We had them printed up and made for you." And I didn't. At this point, I hadn't seen them. Looked at them. I opened up. I was like, "Fuck you." He's like, "Why?" I was like, "Comic book guy." He's like, "Yeah, that looks like you." I was like, no, that does not look like you.
You're like, does it?
That's sick.
So now I have a comic book guy Lego sitting on my register.
Well, honestly, this guy is like so knowledgeable in like those little things. Like I've brought him up my magic cards or my random collectibles and been like, priced it. What does this look like?
What is this
like,
worth?
Oh, perfect. And, you know, and he's helped me like with a lot of that type of stuff. But Jason's store is sick. So hey, if you guys want to check it out, we'll just say that now. Like he's in Clearfield. We'll put a link in the description for him and stuff like that. But
As always.
Also, if you do, go check out our website that Morgan here made.
Oh yeah, we made his website as well.
Yep. Yeah, we'll definitely link that below.
Now that the nostalgia is running high, I wanted to switch gears just a little bit. Let's jump into business, okay? What made you start Dark Prime? Like, what was it? Like, when did you know you were an entrepreneur? How did you start Dark Prime? That's my question.
My wife got pregnant.
And you're like, I need a job.
And you're like, I need to do something.
Well, so I was working as a temp in the Freeport Center, which is kind of a hodgepodge of different companies and stuff like that, warehouses. And I was making like $7 an hour, moving boxes.
Oof.
Yeah, it was horrible. And my wife, when we got married, was like already $1,000 almost $2,000 in debt. Mm-hmm. And by debt, I mean negative in her checking account.
Ooh.
So my checks weren't really helping out very much.
Right.
So when we got married, or when we got pregnant, or found out we were pregnant, I was actually sitting at a thrift store, and I was actually sitting there just bummed because I was like, "There's no way we're gonna be able to support this kid." Mm-hmm. And I was talking to some friends, some people I know from back when I worked at another thrift store, and I knew they bought and resold and stuff like that. And one guy literally goes, "You should buy and resell." I was like, "Dude, I don't know anything about nerd stuff." And at this time, I couldn't find a comic book shop to save my life in Utah. There was like one, and that was it.
See, and that's why I was so surprised when we were talking about all these people coming out. I'm like, I don't feel like that's a big thing.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like 9 years ago, I was like, there's only one comic book shop, and that thing like closed. Like, I was there one day and then closed.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? So like, there's nobody going to worry about this stuff. So I actually spent the last dollar I had in my name on a jigsaw that I was going to use to actually customize Transformers. Because I was like, screw it. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do some hobby stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
I looked up, and this jigsaw came out at this thrift store, and I was looking at it. It had a price for $1. I was like, okay, how bad of a one is this really? And it turned out to be like a $60, $100 one brand new, and resold. I could resell for like $60.
When you say jigsaw, what do you mean? Like a puzzle?
No, it's a little saw.
No little saw that he could customize stuff with.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This one's an electric one that actually clips to the tables like this does. And then you just move this
Over it.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. I was thinking jigsaw, and then I was thinking like, wait, $1? You got this thing for $1?
Yeah.
Like a jigsaw puzzle, like the jigsaw like murder guy.
All of it. All of it went through my head, and I was like, it's either a saw,
You're like, what are we talking about right now?
I know.
So, but you know,
Okay, go.
so being the nice guy I went up to my friend, the guy that recommended me to resell, because he does tools. I was like, yeah, this one sells for about $50 new or used, and $100 new, and it's priced for $1. He literally sent me, he goes, go buy it for $1. I'll pay you $25 for it.
Done deal.
I was like,
Who wouldn't take that deal?
Yeah.
I was like, even if he backs out, I was like, cool. I was planning on buying it anyway. I'll go do that. I went, gave it to him. He gave me $25, and I was like, it's that simple.
It's that simple.
It is.
Just the buy and resell business, Gary Vee style, you know, like that
Garage sales. Oh, yeah.
So then, like, after that, I was like, you know what? I could buy a bunch of stuff wouldn't mind keeping if it doesn't sell.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, you know, I'm a nerd. I play video games. I collect toys. I collect stuff. So I started buying stuff at the thrift store that were like $1, $2, $3, and knowing that they were like $10, $15, $20 a piece. Mm-hmm. I went out to swap meet, and one Sunday out there, I cleared $600.
Off of stuff that you swooped up at a thrift shop.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was only in a 4
Was this multiple thrift shops that you went to
nope,
pick
it
them?
was just one.
Wow.
And it was only a 4-hour period on that Sunday. I cleared $600.
That is incredible. I'd be hooked.
Oh, dude, I was like, cool.
He still is.
I went back home, I looked at my wife. I was like, hey, I made $600 in 4 hours on a Sunday. She goes, cool. What do you want to do? I was like, I want to take about half of this.
Go buy more stuff.
Yeah. So I literally started just buying stuff that I was like, if it doesn't sell, cool. I'll just keep it in my personal collection. If it does sell, then I make money.
Right.
For about 2.5 years, I was going out to a swap meet. And every Sunday I was clearing $500 to $700 on a Sunday in a 4-hour.
Wow, that's sweet.
I actually got to the point where people were bringing me stuff to the swap meet to sell to me at the swap meet.
Really?
Yes.
And you'd be like, I don't know if I can make money off of this thing, and I don't really want it, so on to the next. Or people bring you great things.
People would bring me great things. Like one guy brought me an entire Nintendo collection almost.
What?
Yeah, had the system, had like 30 or 40 games. And these games were like $10, $15 a piece, and he's like, I want $100 for all of it.
Wow.
I was like, cool, here's $100. I tested the system right then and there.
You literally like pick them up and put them back on the table, right? I
actually tested them because I actually had a TV.
Oh, you went through and tried them all out?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. That's actually a way better method
I test
right
everything before I sell it, and so I can guarantee it.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing. It's like I was the only one out there that actually guaranteed their stuff.
Right.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a huge benefit, especially when you're talking about retro stuff that's super old.
Well,
that's awesome.
Well, after a month, I actually had business cards made up, and I was like, here's my business card. If you have any problems with this whatsoever, give me a call.
Sick.
And I had people like, that's not your number. I was like, call it right now. They'd call it and like, see. Like,
I promise, it's my number. I got nothing to hide, dude. If it doesn't work, then I don't feel good giving it to you. Like, we'll take it back.
It kind of goes back to like how I felt about it, where like you have these old toys or gaming systems or these old things that are just kind of like sitting around, and there's so many people out there that are just like, hey, I'm like, I'll sell this for like $10. That's like, because in their head that's what it's worth, and he's like, well, okay, that makes sense, you know.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I'd spend like 30 minutes testing the system, going through testing the different games. Then put it out, sell the system for like 50 to $100, sell each of the games for $10 to $15.
That's so sick.
Cool. That's so sick.
So you pretty much built your reputation around this.
Oh yeah,
from the
swap meet.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden now you're like, okay. So where did you transfer from swap meet to like actual store?
So we went from doing the outdoor booth or spots at the swap meet to doing an indoor booth. It started dying down, and that's when we made the decision to switch from doing the swap meet to doing an actual physical store. Mm-hmm. A guy I knew ran an antique shop up in Roy. Uh-huh. He was actually the property manager. And I was like, I originally just wanted to talk to him and sit down and talk to him. Kind of like I did with Morgan, like, hey, I want to learn about business before I do this. Mm-hmm. He's like, the best way to learn about it is just do it. I have a spot open. It's like $500 a month.
Oh, chilling.
I was like, okay, sure, why not?
I make that on a Sunday.
I make that on one Sunday, sir.
Well, that was the whole reason why we did it, because I was like, on one Sunday a month pays
rent. Yep.
So it was like cool. So we started doing that, and I was paying for the rent for a while until, like I said, it started dying down to the point where I was making like $100 a Sunday.
Uh-huh.
And then we went to $100 a month at the swap meet. I was like, okay.
Why do you think that happened?
Less people started going out to the swap meet.
Boom. I'm so glad you said that, because I feel like the swap meet is like, maybe it's coming back. I don't know if it's, I feel like it was a dying thing.
I remember going to the swap meets as a kid all the time. And that was like not a thing.
Yeah.
Like there is, I guess, here and there, like, but you have to like.
It's actually funny. I've never been to the swap meet here in Utah, but we used to go to swap meets in California every time we'd go to California.
Oh, I would love to go to a California swap meet.
They're huge.
My system's selling for $100. Would be selling for $200 out there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. California prices are massively higher than here.
That's why we're doing business in California right now.
It's also why I hate Storage Wars.
Yeah.
Storage Wars.
Watching that show, and then them going, "Oh yeah, this is a $300 item. No, that's a $10 item.
Don't trip. Yeah, for real. Storage Wars is probably one of the most addicting shows out there, for real.
Then I have to go, oh yeah, you guys are in California. Of course, it's a $300 item.
Have you ever bought one of those storages to get stuff? Like, how do you get your supply now?
Now I have people that bring me a lot of stuff. I have a lot of friends that have a lot of old toys and video games that they don't want. And then I actually have people that literally buy stuff at like thrift stores and yard sales, and then for a quick flip come and sell it to me, so because they don't want to deal with it.
So it's like a shorter flip, and then you can like sit on it a little bit and wait for that right person to come across.
Oh, yeah, because I mean, if they're paying $5 for it, I pay them 10 for a $20 game. They're happy. I'm happy.
Yeah. Well, dude, I actually jumped the gun a little bit. We were talking about how you went to storefront. So you did the $500 at this guy's spot.
Yeah. We started doing that. Did really well for the first year there. Within the first year of us doing that, that's when the swap meet started dying out for us. And we just made the transition of going, you know what, we don't need the swap meet anymore. We're just going to do the store. Within a year and a half of us being in that first location, we actually outgrew it. And then we moved across the parking lot to a place that was double the size.
Sweet.
That's awesome. Like the growth, just
like when you say outgrew, you mean you guys just didn't have enough space to have all the inventory?
We were getting more inventory than
you had space for.
That space for what we had was for, and so we were just like, yeah, no.
And the demand was there because you have obviously people like buying it.
So. Oh yeah. I mean, we did really well. A lot better than I thought we were going to do just by using Facebook alone as advertising. That's why I love Facebook as well.
Yep.
But we moved into our second location, or transitioned over to that location, which was, like I said, double the size. And then from there, we were there in that location for 2 years.
Cool.
And then transitioned over to the location we're in now, which we did have it triple the size until we had to downsize because of COVID and stuff like that. So, but we're still about double the size than what their second location was. So
nice.
That's awesome. How do you feel, being in the game for 10 years? Obviously, we do digital media marketing. Being in that game, the retro gaming toy space, in the last 10 years, what kind of trends or like what changes have you seen specifically with what you do with people being online or eBay or Facebook Marketplace? Like, how has that affected your business?
It's increased the pricing of a lot of the stuff over the years, massively. It shouldn't have, in my opinion. There are games that I was selling for $1 like 9 years ago that are now selling for $10 to $15, $20 a piece. And they're not good games, not by any stretch of imagination.
They're no. Oh, what's that one expensive one that DuckTales 2?
Yeah.
They're no DuckTales 2.
No, like
terrible game.
Oh, DuckTales 2 is a fantastic game.
Okay. How much is it worth? DuckTales 2?
I just sold that one for $250.
Wow.
On what system?
NES.
NES.
That was just a cartridge.
What's an NES?
Nintendo.
Oh.
Original Nintendo.
Just a Nintendo. Yeah. DuckTales 2, $250.
Just a cartridge.
Wow.
If I had the box and manual, it would have been closer to the $1,000 range.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So having like the original, so I've always kind of known this, but like the closer to new you get, the bigger the difference. So it's kind of crazy to hear that you sold just the game, the game itself for $250. But if you had the cardboard box and a paper manual, you could have 3x what you sold it for.
No, it's ridiculous. There's a game that's $1,000 just for the cartridge.
Yeah.
And if you have the box and manual, it goes in the ballpark of like $5 or $6 grand.
What game is that?
That is Little Samson.
Jeez.
So it almost make you go on the hunt for that box.
Oh yeah. And what's funny is like most times the box is like it's a $300 box.
Wow.
And like a $50 manual, and it increases the price.
That is insane. Yeah. That is crazy.
Just reselling, baby.
Yeah.
And collectors love that stuff. But with Facebook Marketplace and eBay and stuff, you're saying that's kind of driven the prices up because it's more available now?
It is more, it's because it's more available.
Because you're shipping? Or?
It's because it's more available and because there's a wider audience. It's actually...
reach so many more people.
Yeah.
So more interest in it?
Yeah. There's... I got some Pokemon cards, or not Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh cards to people in Germany and Europe.
Are they going crazy for that?
Oh, I mean, I sold what was it? It was a...
Entei?
No, it was a Yu-Gi-Oh card, Red Eyes Black Dragon. It sold, here in the U.S., I could have sold it for about $150.
What? That's what that's going for?
Or depending on the version. Unfortunately, Yu-Gi-Oh, just like Pokemon, mass produces and reproduces and reprints, and it's messy. But yeah, this version sold, here in the U.S., would have sold for $150. I sold it to a guy over there for almost double the amount.
Wow. Wow. I was really big into Pokemon as a kid, but then I felt like as soon as I got like to be 7, 8 years old, that's when I switched over to Yu-Gi-Oh. Maybe it was because it was more of like, it felt more adultish in comparison to these little Pokemon characters. You know, it was like Final Fantasy, kind of like real anime a little bit more. But I used to have, what was the one that had it was like you had to have the head, the arms.
Yeah,
Exodia. Okay, so Exodia was like one of the most like, that was like the biggest, baddest one. Like little Yu-Gi-Oh would bust that out and all of a sudden game over. How much is that guy going for?
That one depends on the version. That one's been reprinted about 5 or 6 times now.
Really?
Yeah. Most of them were pretty cheap, just because of how common they were. But like, there's a version that each piece sells for about $5 to $10 a piece.
That kills me. I thought it would have been like
way more.
That's like 5,000 per arm.
What's the most like what type of Yu-Gi-Oh cards are more expensive than others? Like, what are you looking for in like Yu-Gi-Oh world?
For Yu-Gi-Oh world, it more depends on the set that they come from than the actual like cards themselves for the most part.
Really?
Yeah, like the Red Eyes Black Dragon I was talking about. That was a BPT set. But then, like I said, it's been reprinted like 300 million times.
Right.
Over exaggeration, but still. But like every other version of it, it's like $1.
Wow.
But that one version, for some reason, is like $150.
And it's just like randomly like that?
Wow. Well, I mean, it seems like
is it probably the amount that was printed in that set?
I believe, that's what it seems like, because like Blue Eyes White Dragon's the same way in that set. It's like a $200 card, $100 to $200 card. Dark Magician from that set is like a $120 card.
No, gosh.
I was just like, but like it's the same artwork and the same cards as every other set that has been releasing for the most part. But yeah, it's
How do you tell the sets?
in the right hand corner underneath the picture is usually like a 3 to 6 digit code that tells you the set that it's from.
Interesting. I think that's some good stuff to know. Okay, so actually well, I've got 2 questions. What is the Black Eyes or Red Eyes Black Dragon? Is that the rarest card in the whole Yu-Gi-Oh?
No, it's not.
What is?
I can't remember the name of it, but there's actually a card that there's only like one of, and that card is like never been seen the light of day from the moment it was running at a tournament.
Really? Yeah. Wow. Okay.
While you guys are talking, I'm gonna Google Yu-Gi-Oh cards just to look at.
Okay, so I just wanted to know, that was something I was curious of. The next question was, when looking at cards, and let's do Pokemon, because I think a lot of people have Pokemon cards. Where do you see that stuff, like that serial code or whatever the code is? Like, where do you look at that on Pokemon?
So, like Pokemon, you have the bottom. It's on the bottom. Is the rarity, as you have the circle, the diamond, and the star.
Star being the most.
That being the rarest, or being the rare. Then you look at the picture of, is it a foil? Is it reverse foil? Is it this? I mean, nowadays they have like 4 different versions of rares. Then set wise, it's again just below the picture. Shows, or no, actually it's all the way down at the bottom right hand corner. Depends on the set. Some are on the left hand corner, some on the right hand corner. But down at the bottom is the set symbol, and then it also tells you what card in the set that is.
So like set symbol as in like a Rocket Power set.
Yeah.
And like all the other different sets that were out there. And so the star, so is that like the biggest fact? Like what makes the difference between like the different, like this, what was it? Circle, star.
Yeah. So circle is common, diamond is uncommons, and then the stars are rares.
And so could you, like, for example, could you have a Pikachu that's a star, a circle, and a square, or is it?
Depends on, like, there are versions of Pikachu that are rare, but like not in every set. Most of them are commons or uncommons. Like even in the original base set back in the 90s, it was, I believe, an uncommon. So it wasn't in every pack or anything like that. It wasn't,
right.
You're going to get like 30 of them in a box.
Yeah.
So just real quick, I got some research. I just want to throw it out there. So this is as of February 2022. It says the Blue Eyes White Dragon was also one of the 6 prismatic secret rares given out with the Dark Duel series or stories game. A PSA Gem Mint 10 copy from the DDS promo sold for $25,100 in 2021.
Wow. Which I like to hear that it's the Blue Eyes White Dragon, because that was like one of the main beasts in Yu-Gi-Oh.
That guy.
I'm gonna go in the corner and cry now.
So it sold for $25,000.
Did you sell that? You had that?
I had that as a kid.
Dude, and it wouldn't surprise me if I had that.
So that's
Like, that kills.
Yeah.
that's the other one, and then
I wish I
that's
would've
the
known-
first edition 2002 LOB Blues Eyes White Dragon. So I'm really curious. Right before that, I'm really curious, like how many people are listening are like,
I'm going to go check.
I'm going down in the attic. I'm going up in the attic. I'm going in the basement. Where's all my cards at?
Seriously, because I'm like, I wish that I would have known a little bit of the details, because like I remember seeing stars, diamonds, and circles. Like I remember that, but I had no idea what that meant. I had no idea that even classified something. All I ever looked at was holographic, non-holographic, and what the character was.
Yeah. So my next statement is going to give me a lot of heat. It's thanks to the celebrities that the prices for Pokemon cards are what they are right now.
Yeah.
Like the Logan Pauls out there. And
Yes, and it is horrible garbage that it's that way.
oh no.
Okay, that's actually, I'm curious as to why do you think that? Is it harder because it's harder to get them?
No, it's hard. It's really bad because people will not buy them though. That's the problem. Is the Charizard that sold for $300 like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, before Logan Paul and all these celebrities went, oh, we're Pokemon fans, is now selling for like $1,000.
Right.
Okay, can you afford $1,000?
I wouldn't own a Pokemon card like that.
Neither.
I mean,
Morgan
maybe
might.
I honestly, genuinely, like if I found one that was like $1,000, but I saw Logan Paul selling it for 5,000, 10,000, then yeah, I would for sure.
It brings a whole bunch of new sets of eyes to like the business realm, because you know they're more. It just drives that.
It's like the hype. It's like the
it
hype
drives
for
the-
it.
It is, and
The supply and demand, it drives that demand up so high that's why a lot of prices for those things are like skyrocketed right now.
and it truly makes it hard for the mom and pop shops like mine, you know, Oasis next door to you guys here, to actually sell these things.
Right.
Because unless you get a celebrity coming in and buying it, it's not going to sell.
That's why maybe you sell it online, because then you reach those people.
Yeah, but those people don't sell very often. Don't look at websites like that very often.
True, I feel you on that.
So listen, if you guys have crazy rare stuff in your basement, or if you want to know if it's rare, bring it into Jason.
That's a huge thing. Just letting, like, doing an evaluation.
Oh yeah, no, I'll validate this most of that stuff. But like most people nowadays, like, oh, this is $1,000 card. Cool, I want $900.
Right? And you're like, no, I'll give you $250. That's crazy. That's cool. It's cool because it's like, so me personally, I've gone recently, and I know I talk about this all the time on here, but like I've gotten big into like NFTs, and that same dynamic where it's like the value of this asset is determined on the hype around this asset, even though it's like really not supposed to be that expensive. Is the same dynamic that's happening with real life collectibles. And I think it started with real life collectibles, and now NFTs is just a new platform that people can do the same thing on.
You have NFTs that are doing it now. You have digital currency like Bitcoins and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
That are literally, if the government literally decided to look at it and go, you know what, we're not going to allow that anywhere. We're shutting it all down. All that money is wasted.
Tanked.
So I'm just like, that's
it's a huge risk. It's a huge
There's
risk.
more that goes into it than that. I can't sit back and
There is
say
way
that.
more. Exactly. There's
it's
way more
deeper than
into
that,
it.
in my opinion. But
I agree with that. I agree. It's way deeper. I wouldn't be in crypto and all that if I wouldn't believe in it.
Most money right now, regular money, is not real money. It's
Exactly.
just
Because what
numbers
if
in
we
a
were to be
computer.
like, hey, this
So-
piece of paper that says 100 on it, like that's not really worth anything. Like that's just a piece of paper. Like we could do that with literally most things.
So that's when it becomes a $500 bill now.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I have $2 bills that sell for $5 at my store right now.
Oh yeah, you do have money like that classic old
$2
rare money.
bills sell for $5.
Depending on what they are, yeah. Like these ones are the like silver certificates and the war bond. type
Wow.
He has collectibles, baby.
That's high. I need to come up there. I need to come see what you got here. That's
So
interesting.
to kind of bring this back and everything, you know, we're getting to the end of our time with you, Jason. Is what's next for Dark Prime? Where are you going? What's next? What's new?
We're currently working on doing setting up our live stream area so we can start some live streaming games, stuff like that.
And you were on Twitch for a second. You were doing some D&D stuff, but I think you're changing that to
we're
mostly
be,
TikTok.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We've been doing a lot of stuff on TikTok. That's been growing really well for us. We are looking at doing some stuff on Twitch. Probably not D&D stuff right away, but we'll do like some magic stuff. Probably like opening boxes, games, stuff like that.
You have Magic Nights in person at the store every Thursday as well.
Yeah, we just played last night.
So if you want to learn how to play Magic, because, okay, when you guys were talking about like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, not my world at all. Like, okay, but Magic.
I grew up I'm literally the polar opposite. I'm like Magic. I never got into Magic.
See, me and my brothers.
Magic was too much over. Like there's too much going on with Magic. But Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon, there was cartoons that just showed you how to do it.
I think I was too older.
I wish I would have gotten into Magic sooner because that Black Lotus that goes for like $30,000 right now.
That is insane.
I think it's more than that, dude. The Black Lotus, like the original Black Lotus, is like million. It's like close to a million.
If it's graded mint 10 and all this other stuff, yeah. A non-graded version goes for about 60 to 70 grand.
I sent you that video on TikTok, and there's a guy and he goes, "Wow, I just became like a millionaire," and he's far away from like this like plastic case. Like that's full of toys and stuff, and he zooms in, and there's a Black Lotus just sitting on the side of it, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's worth so much money.
Wow, that's so fascinating.
I looked at it and went, oh, that's fake, how nice.
So
it makes me literally not want to ever sell anything that I have right now. Like just like
collectibles.
If I get that, I'm just gonna I need to get like a safe room or something that just has all these things that I think would be valuable.
My son recently started collecting those Funko Pops, and so I've been like, yeah, just save them up.
It's a Funko Pop.
How do you describe Funkos?
Pieces of plastic designed in shapes of famous and popular characters.
You know what
that some of those things sell for unbelievable money. It's ridiculous.
A Funko Pop? Is it?
I'm a bobblehead.
I'm thinking of the Bean guys. Oh yeah. I definitely see these things. Those are called. Okay, cool.
Yeah, like
they're little minifigurines
worth a dime. But then there's like some that are like a couple grand and whatnot. Yeah.
You had like this Deadpool Venom one or something like that. That was pretty expensive. It came with a T-shirt.
Yeah. I still have that one. It's that one I believe is about $200 right now.
Yeah, there's like a Funko that's like $200.
Wow. There's the glow in the dark, or not glow in the dark, the blacklight ones that they made. They were such limited edition that at one point they were going for like $150 to $200 a piece.
Wow.
They're now going for like $75 to $150 a piece.
That is incredible. Okay, so the one question that I had is. When you get these, how are you getting these currently?
I was ordering them in, but I'm no longer ordering them in.
And not even specifically, like, just in general, like, so when you're getting, like, cards, do you have, like, a certain supplier that you go to for cards?
So I have a distribution center that I order most of my new product, like my Magic cards, when I get my Pokemon approved. My Pokemon's going to be coming through them. Funko Pops, all that stuff.
Gotcha.
Comes to that distribution center. I'm actually stopped not ordering Funkos through them anymore. Just because I had problems with them ordering it, where I pre-ordered brand new ones like 6 months before the release date. I didn't get them until almost a year later.
Oh wow! So I guess I should say the days of going to thrift shops, are that over?
For me, for the most part, yeah.
There's still like some of like those older. Like the days of like DI and Salvation Army are over in my opinion for a lot of that. But there's some like collectible stores. Like I know there's one in Bountiful. I can't think of what it's called, but there's one there that's kind of cool. And then there's some down on State Street that are kind of cool that are fun to go look at and see. Like
because I'm like I want to go. I was about to go to my local DI, but if DI is not a place,
so go for like little collectibles. Sorry.
Yeah, if you go to places like DI, go first thing in the morning. Be like in line at 6. 9 o'clock in the morning, when they open at 10, you're going to have to stand there in front of that door and beat the other 30 people that are going to trample you to go.
Is it like that?
It is.
Well,
wow.
For those of that don't know, I just posted this on my TikTok, but I have a 1995 Playboy collectible.
Yep.
I think you were with me when I got these.
Yes.
But that was at that little place in Bountiful, and I found there's just like these little treasure places, dude. But that's where I got my Playboy collectible cards, and I got my 4 Donnie T's, my 4 Donald Trumps, baby.
Donnie.
Dude, when I first, I don't know if you've looked at those, by the way, but those Donald Trump cards, they were like $20 when I first got them, and I paid like. For the whole thing, I can't even remember.
I remember you have I think you might even have
$50 you paid for that box.
Yeah, I think they were like, no, for like 2 of them, like for 2 of those boxes, I think they were like $25 a box at the time. But so I think I paid $50 for like these 2 huge boxes, right? Got 4 Donnie T's. 1 Donnie T was worth like $20 at the time. Those things are going for like over $100 right now.
Well, yeah, he's still in the spotlight. He's in trouble right now. He's getting sued by like 30 million people.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many people like got mad at me about that when I posted that, and people are like, "Oh, you're not a supporter." And I'm like, "Oh my god, I don't even get into this right now." No, I have rare.
No, it's a card. It's a Playboy card.
A
It's
rare
money.
tradable.
It's money.
Yeah, it's money in my
That's
pocket.
tight. I
baby.
want to go check this out.
should
This has
go.
been so fascinating. I'm glad that we had this conversation,
And
because
then
this is
there's-
like opened my eyes
And
to a
there's a
lot of
place
things.
right by your house that that I've gone before too that I could take you to,
Dude,
And that's where
let's
I
go.
bought a ton of cards there before.
Let's go. I'm so
I'm
down.
kind of jealous of you guys down here in Salt Lake because there are several collectible shops and antique shops down here. I wish I could go to more often.
Yeah, and I could show you a couple. We could go, but
Yeah, we should one day.
But like thrift stores are a pain to go to. DIs, you get trampled over. It's not as bad as the one up in Layton, because they've actually made it where you have to stand in line. You have to go one by one. Like the ones down here in Salt Lake you get trampled if you don't move fast enough.
well,
That's tight.
you've heard it, guys. Let's get out there. Go look for it. If you're looking for a little side hustle, maybe you guys can go scour your local, shops and see what you can find there at those old places and
Buy low, sell high.
little treasure places. But anyways, Jason, thank you so much for being our guest today. Tell our audience where people can find you, how to get a hold of you. Here's your opportunity.
Our store's in Clearfield, Utah, 354 South State Street. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. You can hit us up on any of those places at darkprimecollectables.com.
Perfect.
If you guys have any questions on any products, hit me up. I will be glad to give you advice on how much things are worth and if you should even buy it.
There we go.
And once again, I will link his stuff in the description of these. Thank you so much for being here and sharing some of your story with us. It's such a fascinating thing.
It really
to
is
do.
super, super fascinating. I'm stoked that we had this because it's got me amped
He's thinking.
to literally, because I'm big in the buy low, sell high thing right now. And I'm like, dude, I will scour Salt Lake Valley for some little collectibles if I could sell them for a couple $100s.
Oh yeah, no, video games and cards are much better than the stock market.
Yeah, there we go.
So I hope that gets your brain thinking for those listening today. But that just kind of proves you that there's a business in everything.
Yep,
You
big
can
facts.
make money anywhere. There's money literally hanging out down the road in a little toy store. So go look for those. Anyways, we're here every Tuesday. Tell us where they can find us.
Oh, yeah. You can catch these podcasts, obviously, every Tuesday. Our videos are going to be on good old YouTube, and then you can catch the stream on all major podcast platforms, including Spotify and Apple. And they're on our website.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Thank you.